the issue, and sometimes in a very serious fashion at times, and other times not so much. On the other hand, you could also say that, again, this is a form of what I keep calling inoculation. That is, you put some truth out there, but you put it out in such a manner that it doesn't get taken seriously, i.e. in the form of entertainment. I think of a TV show like The X-Files when it was running about 10 years ago. Now, that was a show that was really cool. It had great scripts, great acting, and it dealt with frequently with the UFO cover-up in a very interesting way. I don't know the behind-the-scenes story of this. What did Chris Carter know or not? But I do know that if someone were to bring up themes of cover-up and conspiracy, that one rejoinder would be that someone could say, you've been watching too many X-Files. So that, in other words, this stuff gets out there. It makes it out into popular culture. But the real question that I ask myself is it truly preparing us or not? And when you talk to people in ordinary life, I do this all the time in my, I'm not doing UFO lectures 24/7. I deal with people in the regular world. And what I find is that people are interested in this topic, but they only have a very superficial knowledge about it. And so people will ask me, I guess you like aliens, you like UFOs. That's the way they put it. I'm thinking, well, I don't know if like is the way I would put it. I'm interested in it. But you find that people have a very surface-level take on this. And so when they actually get brought into the real depth of this field, I don't think that a lot of them are all that ready as they may think that they are.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's, and whether we are being conditioned on purpose as part of some master plan, or it's just happening this way because UFOs and aliens are good box office and always have been, the effect is basically the same.
That's right. I'm so sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead.
I feel for the most part we're not being educated. I feel for the most part that we are being kept kind of dumb. I mean, just look at the rest of our culture. How well prepared, how knowledgeable is the average person about the nature of their world? I'll guarantee you, most men probably could tell you more about the nuances of the National Football League than they could about global politics. And women have their interests as well, but they're not the same as dealing with the geopolitical financial issues. We deal with these things when they happen upon us. So we deal with the financial crisis when it crashes down upon us, but how much knowledge is really there?
Yeah,
I don't really think a lot. There was a good study done during the first Gulf War by the University of Colorado on media. How much media did you watch on the Gulf War, and how knowledgeable were you at the issues? And what they found was that there was a kind of inverse relationship between the amount of TV news you watched and how knowledgeable about the issues of the Gulf War you were. So the more CNN and Wolf Blitzer you watched, conversely, the less likely you were to know about certain key issues like where would you find Jordan on a map, or what did President Bush mean when he said no linkage, which was a big thing at the time in 1990, no linkage between the Israeli issue and the Palestinian issue in Iraq. People were less likely to know the more TV news they watched. And this was, the conclusion was, well, this was a great failure of TV journalism. Okay, well, that's fine, but maybe it isn't a failure at all. If we look at TV as a medium to draw in viewers, which is what it's supposed to do, I mean, that's the whole point, is to get viewers. Is it really to educate, or is it maybe to make people feel that they're getting educated? And where the real issues are being, it's not just TV, it's all the media, really, I think we can include here. So I don't know if we're being prepared. I think what I see is a lot of superficial knowledge about a lot of things and not really any kind of depth.
Let's go to the phones. Wildcard line, John in Long Island. Good morning, John. John, are you there?
Yes. How are you doing today, George?
We're doing fine. You got a question for Richard Dolan?
Yeah, I got a quick comment and one question here. You said, if I heard you correctly, your father was a retired New York City cop, too?
You got it, man. That's right. I grew up in Brentwood, Long Island.
I used to have a girlfriend right off Motor Parkway. Back in the day. My father is also a retired police sergeant, Jamaica, Queens. 20
Hey, cool.
He did the 68 to 88. But my question is, how far can a president really go without being worried about treason or worried about assassination to really push to really go crazy, to really find out the truth about Roswell, or could be any other issue about UFOs? How far to the extreme, how far can they go?
That's a great question. Well, I remember chatting with Dr. Stephen Greer, who told me that he had knowledge about the Jimmy Carter situation, in which what he said was that Carter's life would have been in danger had he tried to go farther with the issue. That's the claim. Look, presidents get killed. Did John F. Kennedy actually get killed by a lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald? Well, I don't think so. I think a lot of people don't think so. So something happened to cause him to get killed as an inside job, so to speak. I wonder, recently about the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan back in 1981. I have to tell you, I wonder if there is something else going on there. Your question is a valid one. How far will he go? I don't think that he'll go anywhere until he gets permission from the people who are behind him. No president is an autocrat. Every president comes in supported by powerful interests. And this is no different with Barack Obama than any other president we've had. So
John, thanks.
Yeah, I agree with John's implication here, which is that he's only going to go as far as he's allowed to go.
John, thanks for the call. Maybe you and Richard Dolan have to swap stories about girlfriends on Long Island one of these days. We're going to have to take a short break. We'll be right back with more of your questions for Richard Dolan on Coast to Coast AM. Thanks for staying with us here on Coast to Coast AM. Our guest, a fascinating discussion about UFOs, cover-ups, disinformation. Richard Dolan, author of UFOs and the National Security State, soon to be a second volume coming out in the spring, and we're all looking forward to it. Back to the phones now. Wildcard line, Michael in Albany, New York. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I wanted to ask Richard what, when he's talking about extraterrestrials, is he also including dimensional travelers?
Good question. I cannot rule that out at all. There are things about what we seem to have gathered about them that makes me think that they're not just people from another planet. I don't know exactly where their origin is. Are they from another solar system or part of this galaxy, or do they inhabit a different part of this reality? I think it's entirely possible that both of those solutions may have some truth to it. So I leave it in play.
Anything in the paper trail or documents that refer to dimensional stuff that you've ever seen?
Nothing that I've seen, no.
Okay. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for the call. Another call from New York. You're popular in New York this morning, Richard.
Hey,
Dan.
it's my neck of the woods.
Dan in Montrose, New York. Hi, Dan.
Good evening. How are you?
Hello, Dan.
Okay.
Good morning. George Knapp and Richard Dolan, hello.
Hi.
Howdy.
Listen, there's something I want to say. I'm not going to mention any names, but I wanted to get your take on the present leader of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, which I'm a member of. In 2005, they mentioned something very profound that I felt was long overdue. I got something to say, and I'd like to read it. It's very short. It's 3 things.
Okay.
It says, what MUFON knows to be true after 36 years, of course now we're down to 39, 1, UFOs are real. We are not alone. 2, our universe is teeming with life. The scientific data shows that our planet is being visited by an intelligence on a regular basis. 3, the final one, UFOs, unconventional flying objects, which I thought that was good to state. Unconventional flying objects deserve scientific study. UFOs display technology that, if understood and used wisely, could benefit our planet and greatly advance all mankind. And this is by John Schuessler and his people, MUFON International Director. And I thought that was a very good statement, long overdue. They put it on their website. And John Schuessler twice agreed with me that it should have been put in their MUFON journal. I think it should be put in there all the time, if not just once. Now, they've never put it in their MUFON journal, and I've spoken to their one of the people there of MUFON, and of course it fell on deaf ears. Now